What is going on, everybody? I am your host, Slackerz, bringing you our next matchup in the Ultimate Smash Bros. DLC tournament. So, if you're new and you're watching one of these videos for the very first time, you're wondering what this is, it is a tournament that me and my community put together of 72 characters that potentially could be DLC in Smash Ultimate. So how does this whole thing work? And if you want to participate, how do you do that? Well, basically, each day on my channel, I upload one matchup from this tournament, and then we vote for one of the two characters in the matchup, or both. You can vote for both if you want, but you would vote for who you'd rather see as a DLC character in Smash Ultimate through the means of DLC, so I guess the Fighter Pass. So how do you vote? Simple. Type the name of the character or whatever your option is. So character A, character B, or you can vote both, like I said. But you type that down in the comments, and then 1 week after the matchup gets uploaded, we tally up the votes, see who wins, and kind of keep the tournament moving on from there. So we keep getting fresh matches and all that stuff. So it's also a double elimination tournament, meaning your character has to lose 2 times before being officially eliminated. You lose 1 time, you drop to the loser bracket, you lose from there, you're done. If there's ever a tie in the voting, I flip a coin on camera. You guys will see that, and that's how we break the tie. Best way to do it. So that's pretty much the gist of how the tournament works. So the matchup today is, who is it? Game 19. It's Ninten taking on Conker, and I'll jump into that in just a second. But before we do, we got to go over the results from last week, which was Game 13. I actually didn't even type these in. I have them written down right here. Let me tally these up. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Rayman, 41 votes. Porky Minch, oh my goodness, only 10. Rayman ends up pulling off the victory. Wow, usually I have that typed in. But Rayman ends up winning 41-10, so congrats to Rayman. Moves on in the tournament here. And like I said, again, double elimination. So Porky loses once, drops to the loser bracket. You lose from there, you're done. So congrats to Rayman. So that pretty much brings us to today's matchup. Like we said, it is Ninten. Yes, I would view him more as a Echo fighter, if anything. And yes, again, this tournament is just for fun. We have characters that are spirits. We have assist trophy, potential promotion characters. We have characters that are disconfirmed by third-party studios or maybe even first-party studios, whatever it might be. There's just all sorts of different unique sort of characters and styles in here. So again, this is just for fun. So don't attack anybody for who they want in Smash. It's not a big deal. Somebody wants this character, all right, good for you. You can want whoever you want. So yeah, let's jump into the matchup. So Ninten and Conker, right? So Conker, oh man, when you talk about Rare and you know, the franchises that they had that now belong to Microsoft, Banjo is at the forefront of that. Gets talked about the most. Banjo is one of the most, I guess, speculated characters for Smash DLC. Nintendo, Microsoft have a pretty good relationship, and I mean, signs. You could say there's signs pointing towards potentially Banjo and Smash, but a lot of people forget about Conker. Now, Conker comes from a game called Conker's Bad Fur Day. It was out on the N64. It was a platformer, kind of had an overhead view of the map. It was a pretty okay game. I did not beat it. I will tell you that right now. I was very little. He's kind of got a little bit of adult humor in his personality and for his game and that sort of stuff. So maybe there's a lot of kids that didn't get to play the game or get to experience it or even know who Conker is. So basically he's a squirrel and he's kind of got a nutty little attitude. But so let's talk about moveset real quick. How could Conker work in the game? So in Conker, in his game, he's got these sort of things that kind of like indicate and help kind of push you in the direction you need to go for the game. Kind of like what would be next, what kind of stuff would you need, you know, what do you need to progress to get to the next area. That's kind of, so he's got these things. Something turns him into an anvil, so you could use the anvil kind of like as a down smash in a way. That's kind of how I envision it, but police sirens. But you can use the anvil as a down smash, pretty simple. He's also got other things such as a slingshot, pretty simple for maybe a neutral B. He does have a shotgun, but you can do it cartoonish, so you can kind of get around the real sort of, the real ammunition. So that's not an issue. He also has throwing knives, I believe. You could just do also typical punches and kicks. Maybe he's a squirrel after all. Maybe you could do a little bite attack. Whatever. You got stuff you can do with Conker to make a proper moveset, and I don't want to go into the whole entire moveset and how everything could work, but you got stuff that can work, and so moveset, I think he's got nailed down, but popularity and relevancy, I don't think that nearly as much as maybe Banjo would if Rare or Microsoft were to get a character. I don't think Conker's that high up on the list, but we'll see about that. But so when was the last time Conker even was, featured in a game? I believe it was back in 2015. What was it? The Rareware collection for the Xbox One. Basically a bunch of older Rare games. I think it was was it Banjo? Conker was in there. It was 2015. So it was just a couple years ago. But Conker does have a history with Nintendo. He's kind of a little cult following. He's not the most iconic or popular character, but there's people that know who the character is, and if he popped up in Smash, it'd be kind of a cool little surprise. But I think people, if Rare, if Microsoft's Rare division in Microsoft were to get a character, Banjo's probably far ahead, more likely, and way more people would want that anyway. But Conker's kind of would be a nice little surprise if he were to happen, because, well, he's got the history. I think moveset would be pretty unique. But again, kind of adult sort of humor. So if you're not really into that kind of stuff, this character might not be for you. So let's move on to his opponent, though, Ninten. So Ninten is from the Earthbound, the Mother series. One of the three main protagonists from the games. And how would he work? Pretty much kind of be a lot of people would envision him as another Echo Fighter, somewhat of Ness and all that sort of stuff. I mean he looks like Ness, first of all. So would an Echo Fighter be something we would see in Smash Bros as DLC, especially part of the Fighter Pass? Probably not of the Fighter Pass, but I always kind of have it in my mind. I'm not expecting it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo and Sakurai, maybe there's a character that Sakurai, is doing on his own time, because I know they're getting ready to release update 3.0.0 or whatever. It's supposed to have new game modes, so they're not just working on the characters for the Fighter Pass and their stages. They're working on other stuff. Supposedly they're bringing back Stage Builder, which I'm very excited about. Potentially maybe break the targets, maybe board the platforms, maybe something older that they might be bringing back, which would be cool. So they could also kind of do that with an Echo Fighter, because Sakurai's said in numerous times that Echo Fighters don't take a ton of resources and they're pretty quick to do. You already have the base character and the build and all that stuff there. You just have to maybe tweak something here or there for, the new Echo Fighter. And in this case, Ninten could absolutely work. I think he'd be kind of cool. Plus, you'd have the three, like I said, you'd have the three protagonists from the Earthbound Mother series, which would be pretty, that'd be pretty neat. But I guess if the Earthbound Mother series were to get another rep, it'd be fighting with maybe a couple other characters, potentially Porky Minch, who we, just seen actually lose in today's earlier matchup. But who else? Maybe Klaus, Masked Man. They're kind of the same person. But he might have some competition, but as in terms of an Echo Fighter, that'd probably be the best way for Ninten to get in the game. So moveset-wise, I think Ness, Lucas, pretty similar to that. Well, Echo Fighter after all. But I think Ninten is in a weird boat. Going back to my point about Echo Fighters and DLC, could Nintendo surprise us and just pop up with a, hey, by the way, free Echo Fighter now available for download on the eShop, go and get it and all that stuff? I think there's a possibility it could happen, if Nintendo plans to promote their games and DLC going into the future, because what was it, last December, I believe? It was late last year, in 2018, where the new president said he really wants to focus on expanding games through the means of DLC and just, expanding the life cycle of games. So if that is to happen, maybe a free Echo Fighter DLC could potentially be a thing. Maybe a Fighter Pass 2 could be a thing. And then if free Echo Fighters are a thing, Ninten's got to be in the conversation. If there's a new Fighter Pass, depending if they do another Smash ballot or whatever it might be, Ninten's name is going to get thrown in there. So I think Ninten, both these characters probably have low chances, to be completely honest. But for me, this one is simple. I'm going to vote Conker. I would like the more unique sort of, I guess, and you could still kind of make him work. Maybe tweak, I don't know, his adult humor. I'm trying to figure out how his adult humor could work in the game. But for me, I think it'd be really fun to see this old character. Again, I don't expect either of these two characters to happen. But for me, my vote is for Conker on this one. I think you just bring a better, unique sort of style and gameplay and all that stuff. So for me, my vote's Conker on this one. Pretty simple. There's probably a good chance a lot of people don't know who it is, but oh well, that is what it is. So that is it for this one. Yeah, we'll give you a sneak peek for tomorrow's matchup. Looks like we have the infamous Erdrick from Dragon Quest. He's been in 2 tournaments already of mine and has not done well at all. We'll see if this new tournament kind of makes anybody, I don't know, change their mind or whatever. But Erdrick is facing Crystal, the assist trophy from Star Fox. So Erdrick is taking on Crystal tomorrow, which should be pretty good. And then the results we will have for Chrono taking on Foreman Spike. And to be honest, Chrono's probably going to win that one because the few comments I read, nobody knows who Foreman Spike was. So yeah, we'll get that tomorrow. Anyway, that is it for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. And hopefully we catch you guys on the next one. Peace out, everybody.